You won't believe the amazing features that this builder put in this amazing model home right behind me. In just a second, we're about to check out all those features as well as the amazing floor plan that they offer here. But I do want to mention that we are in one of the hottest and newest communities here in the Jacksonville, Florida area. So with that being said, let's go and check out this model home right behind me and go over just what it would take to get a home just like this here. All right, so starting with this home tour we're at today with this beautiful model home, which by the way, this is probably one of my favorite floor plans, not just here in this location we're in today, but really in Northeast Florida as a whole. But as you can see when we first come up, this is a 4-car garage. So we have a 2-car garage on each side of this house, which is something you don't typically get across the board for homes here in Northeast Florida. Typically it's gonna be a 2 or a 3-car garage. So to have that makes it truly one of a kind. And then as you see too, the builder on this one, they actually did a nice pavered front driveway. One of those things that typically can be an extra, it can be an upgrade. So if you want to know if this was an upgrade for the specific floor plan, reach out to me so I can help answer those questions for you. But overall, it really does give the home a very high-end feel, along with, like I said, the 4-car garage, and then all these windows you get as well with this home. Then as you can see here, as we come into the house, they did a really nice double French door. But what's really cool about it is it's a full glass French door. So if you're someone who likes to have privacy, maybe it's not what you would do with yours, but it really does invite you into the house. It invites people in the house and really does make it an area that becomes a focal point without even trying. And then as you'll see up here when we first came into this foyer, these are some really tall ceilings. One thing that's unique about this specific floor plan here is that they start off with 12-foot ceilings as their base height. And then they even did a tray ceiling here to really maximize the height as well, which I personally love seeing those trays. And then as we continue through, you'll notice here as well that the dining room is right off the front. It's a very well-sized space. You know, we have a big circular 6-seater table. And then they did the tray ceiling in this as well, with also more of a coffer ceiling element to it, which honestly, it really gives it a much more high-end feel and really does just epitomize what it means to live here in this area, in this neighborhood. And then two, you also will notice here that there's some really great wood floors throughout this house. Something that builders are starting to do a lot more of here is they're getting away from that vinyl or tile and going back to more of that, you know, natural wood look. And they're doing more of a lighter colored wood, which personally I love because, you know, the grays, they're a little dated. Very much, you know, 2020, 2021, 2022, but having these more natural wood colored floors, it really does just make it look much more high-end, much more open, just much more warm for when people come and visit. All right, so then the next part of this is going to be our dedicated office space. So one thing you're gonna notice here with this floor plan is they actually give you a nice dedicated office space here in the front of the house. They completed it too with a really oversized, you know, glass wall there. And one thing you're gonna notice throughout this video, they do have these blue and green tapes, you know, marked up on the glass, marked up on the wall. That is because this home has literally just been finished. So they are finalizing their last items. And that's why you see some of these different tape throughout the house. And it brings me a good point. You know, when you go to buy a house here in Northeast Florida, this is what they call that blue tape block, which you get the ability to do with any builder, including this one, where it's your last chance to mark up everything you want them to touch up on, and they will always make sure it's done before closing. So again, if you want to know more about that, you can reach out to me. But here in the office, you know, as you can see here, it's a nice, good-sized space. You do have the first entrance to one of your 2-car garages. So we're not gonna go out there because again, it's a standard garage, but still great to have. And then the other thing too you'll notice here as well is we do have that coffer tray ceiling to match the coffer tray ceiling that we had in the dining room. So again, it's one of those things, they actually even finished it off by painting the inside tray with a darker color to get more depth. So I would love to know though your thoughts on that. You know, would you have painted that yourself? Or would you have personally preferred it just be that standard white that we're so used to seeing with the rest of the ceiling in this home? And then the other thing too with this house is off of the office, we do actually have a half bath as well, which, you know, we'll show off now. So this half bath here, again, very standard, but again, gives a place for guests to be able to go to, so they don't have to go into any of the bedrooms to use the bathrooms in there. So one of those things that you would expect to have in this price point and with this kind of floor plan, it has. And then one of my favorite features here, I say that, I don't drink a ton of wine myself, but it's just a cool feature, is this wine room that is kind of in the hallway as we go the rest of the house. So a really cool feature, the doors on the other side, all glass. This is one of those spots that really becomes a focal point of the house and really, really allows you to have something that no one else has. So the fact that the builder shows this off is a really cool thing because it does show you something that you could do with your house when you work with a builder like this one that does allow for quite a bit of customization. All right, so let's go ahead now though, look at the rest of the house. All right, so now we're gonna get to the part of the house that I absolutely love, and that is the living and the kitchen of this house. So as you'll see here with this living room, we have this massive cathedral ceiling that really epitomizes and shows off this amazing fireplace. This fireplace, I mean, this is a stone fireplace up to the ceiling. I mean, just absolutely amazing what they did here. It does have that gas for the fireplace as well, so it is a functioning fireplace. So again, if it does get too cold here, you do have that ability to turn that on and get some heat from it. But really, I mean, it's just a beautiful feature all around. And to go with these high ceilings, with the cathedral ceilings, they give you the wood beams throughout. And one thing you cannot see in this, but what they did, that I do want to point out, is they actually did smooth ceilings for this home. Now you may think watching this, okay, Justin, why are smooth ceilings important? Well, they just give it a much cleaner look, and something that you don't find with most homes and most builders here in Northeast Florida. We do also get a very nice built-in here with a wine cooler as well. So again, you have that wine room, but they even give you a wine cooler over there right off of the living room. And then from there, we get to this kitchen. So honestly, I mean, this is absolutely stunning. They did an amazing job designing this. They did an amazing job with laying this out. But what they did here is they give us this massive, island with that waterfall effect with the quartz. But it's not your only island. You think, okay, yeah, it's a good size island, but I mean, I've seen plenty of other homes with islands this big. Well, sure, if that was your only island, but they actually give you a second island as well. So I mean, again, look at this island as well. I mean, you have two islands, plenty of room for seating, plenty of room for hosting and gathering people. It's really one of those things that this is a true entertainer's paradise because of the layout, because of how it flows. And believe it or not, this is all just a one-story house. So again, we have a nice oversized sink there. They do have the dishwasher next to it, as it should. We get this beautiful hood up here as well to go with our gas stovetop. And as you can see here, I mean, this is a massive gas stovetop. You have a 6 burner stovetop here, and you even have like a little, flat top as well with it. Now, one thing I do want to bring up with it too is that here in Northeast Florida, we don't have a ton of gas communities, but where we're at today does have that. So to have that gas as just, a part of the community as a standard is honestly, it's awesome because a lot of people who, move here come from up north, they come from out west, and they're so used to having gas. So it's always tough for me when I have to tell them, hey, that community doesn't have gas. I know you fell in love with it, but guess what? This community that we're in today, it does. Another thing too, I just want to highlight, they did do that, lighter brown wood for the cabinets. Really does pair well with the rest of the color choices they used here. These are going to also be soft close cabinets, which I personally love. So again, just overall, they did a good job of just really ensuring that it had everything you would want and need. They even did some nice, strip lighting inside to be able to highlight the glass inserts. And then we also do have our microwave stove combo here as well. So they definitely, or microwave oven combo. So they definitely made sure to have everything you needed, and then your massive fridge as well. All right, off the kitchen, as you'll notice as we come through, we do have our pantry, which one thing I like that this builder did is they did do custom, pantry in here. So gives you an idea of how you could use it, plenty of storage. One thing I would say, if there was anything that, I would love to maybe see more of is maybe a bigger pantry. but that's just my opinion. Would love to know yours, so feel free to let me know what you think about that pantry. And then off of here, we have our first bedroom. So we've already been through a lot of the house, yet we're just now getting to the bedrooms. I mean, that just kind of shows you just how large of a house we're in today. And as you can see here, we do have a walk-in closet. And we also, with that walk-in closet, we also have over here our bathroom. So this bedroom has its own bathroom. Again, makes almost like a mini primary. You know, we do have a single vanity here. But more importantly, as you can see here with this shower tub combo, they actually did almost like a, not a geometric, but almost like a herringbone kind of design with the tile. So I would love to know your thoughts. You know, do you like that, or would you like to see something different with yours? But I do want to point out too that they went to the ceiling with the tile, which may not seem like a major thing, but it's nice when the builder finishes it off because it really just gives it a more complete look, and it does give you less drywall around wet surfaces to have to deal with. So personally, I do love that. And again, I love the fact that this is off of the bedroom to be able to have this as, like I said, a mini primary if you wanted it. Then from here, we're gonna keep on keeping on, and we're gonna come further along into the home. So here we have our entrance to our other 2-car garage. Again, standard garage, so we're not gonna necessarily highlight it too much. But off of that garage is gonna be our laundry room. So as you'll see here, I mean, this is a really nice, large laundry room. You know, the builder did a great job with giving us plenty of cabinetry, plenty of area here to be able to, you know, store our stuff for the washer dryer. You know, as you can see here, we have the the front loading washer dryer. We do have some open storage here. Maybe a little bit of overkill, but at the same time, you know, if you're gonna do it, you might as well overdo it. And again, I mean, just really well thought out with how they did this. I mean, just plenty of storage space, which with a house in general, you could never have too much storage space. So honestly, I do like that they did that. And then we do have, as you may have already seen, we do have the sink here as well, which is a nice benefit to have. Not saying you necessarily have to have, but it's awesome to see that you can do something like this with this builder here in this neighborhood. So overall, I mean, just really well designed, really well thought out. And it's nice having it next to the primary because again, if you have someone that's older that's gonna be staying with you, you know, for them, they're just a short walk to the kitchen, they're a short walk to the primary. But then if you have kids, you know, the kids, their rooms are all here off the back of the kitchen, which is awesome because it kind of gives you, it definitely gives you that split floor plan to be able to have your own space in the house, which we are gonna get to in just a moment. So we're almost there. But here we do have our 2 bedrooms. So bedroom number 1 or bedroom number 2 is back here. With this bedroom, as you'll notice, we do have another walk-in closet, a little bit smaller than the last one, but still, you know, good to have all in all. And then another cool feature too, and this is something that I hadn't brought up yet, but this one also has its own bathroom. So you may be seeing a trend here. This one obviously has its own bathroom as well. And to be quite honest, all these bedrooms have their own bathroom. So it really is the thing that when you're buying a home of this size, when you're buying a home like this, it's really an amazing feature when each bedroom can have its own bathroom, you know, its own privacy. As you can see here though, we do have the tile up to the ceiling. They did a different tile design here. And with this one, they actually went with just the standard, not standard, but with just the shower rather than doing the shower tub combo. And they did finish it off with the same quartz and countertops as what we saw in the first bathroom. So overall, it's nice that they're continuing some things, but it's also nice that they're showing you different things you can do across the board with them. Because again, if you're going to build, and you're gonna wanna build with this builder in this neighborhood, for instance, it's important to know what to do with the builder and what may be worth doing after the fact, depending on what it is that's most important to you and your family, which I can go over with you. You have to just reach out to me. And then here is bedroom number 3. As you'll notice with this bedroom, we do have our walk-in closet as well. So a continuing theme there. And then we also have our 3rd full bathroom. Now what's really cool with this bathroom, as you can see here with this door, is this also doubles as your cabana bath. So that way guests who are outside, you know, if they need to use the bathroom, you know, while visiting, coming from the pool, They can come in through this door. This one also has its own shower as well. So again, just easy access across the board to be able to, come in from outside without having to walk through the rest of the house. And then let me know your thoughts on this tile design. Believe it or not, we are seeing this tile being used throughout multiple neighborhoods, not just with new construction, but also with pre-existing homes as well. So let me know what your thoughts are on this like wood look tile, because it's becoming so popular here in Jacksonville. And again, they still went out to the ceiling, which I do absolutely love. And they did a little step down here too, so that way it keeps all the water in. Because again, you don't want to get the rest of the house wet per se. So it's nice when they do that as well. So with that being said, that's gonna take care of our guest bedrooms, guest bathrooms. And I know you've been really dying for it, so let's now check out that primary bedroom as well. So with this primary, again, what I do like about it is the fact that it is, away from the rest of the bedroom, so it's very private. And again, it is off of your living room, so it's just one of those things. It just makes sense the way they did it, and the flow of the house is honestly amazing. One of the best flows that I've been in for different floor plans, because again, everything is designed in a way to where it just makes sense. And so it's really one of those things that when you're deciding what floor plan you want to go with, one like this makes a lot of sense. So here though, what I will point out is we do have these nice tall doors. They did do these nice French door element with the home. So again, just something that's really cool to see. Gives it, again, that high-end stately feel. And then you'll see here too, we do have that tray ceiling, which they actually did a different kind of inlay on that small little tray here. So even though it's very small, and you may even question, like, is it really needed there? It is a cool feature to have there as it brings us into the rest of the house, which over there is the primary bathroom, but we'll get there in a second. So here we have our walkway to our primary bedroom. As you'll notice, we have two flanking primary closets, a his and hers, or as sometimes I like to joke, a hers and hers, sometimes even his and his, it just depends on who has more clothes. But again, what I love is that they did with these, the custom closets. So again, plenty of storage options. It's one of those things that it definitely gives you an idea of what you could do with your own space. When you see stuff like this, and they did finish it off with some sliding doors, which in my opinion, I love that way more than the bifolds, which seem to constantly break. Then from here, as you'll notice, we come into this massive primary bedroom. Now, why is it massive? Well, just to put in perspective, we have our king size bed, we have end tables, we have a little front area here, a little sitting area, have the dresser. We even have a little sitting area over here as well. And there's still so much more room for activities per se. So it's just one of those things that it really does kind of highlight just how big of a space it is. And what's also nice with it is because you have the tall ceilings and you have the large room with all these windows that they have here, you also get tons of natural light. So it's really, especially with these windows stacked in the back here, it really just brings the outside in per se, really makes it light and bright, and really just epitomizes why people move here to Jacksonville is because of the nature, because of the weather that we have here most of the year. So all in all, just a really good layout here. And they did finish it off too with a door to your backyard, because again, with a backyard like this, you want to have your private door for obvious reasons that you may not know is obvious, but you'll find out soon enough. On the other side here, we come from our primary bedroom to our primary bathroom. So this primary bathroom, you're gonna notice, it is absolutely gorgeous. One of those bathrooms that you always wanna have, wish you could have, but now you could have. And it starts off here with this massive space, and you have your first vanity here. So this is the first vanity. Yeah, it's a single sink. Look at all this countertop space. Just plenty of space there, plenty of room. I love the fact that they did, the sink, built into the wall. Just one of those things that just screams luxury, screams high end. But again, it just really gives it a nice clean look. They continued the cabinets that we had in the kitchen. They're still all soft close. And then it takes us to our massive tub. as well as our, again, I'll say it again, our massive shower as well. So this shower has 2 entrances. You have multiple heads. So you have your first head here. They did a very simple but sleek tile pattern up to the ceiling. And as you come in, you'll notice too, like it wasn't a step down. They designed this in a way where it actually all just naturally flows to the back over here, where you see the word will come back to me. I'm sure you guys know the word, listen to this. But overall it flows to the drain. That's what I'm looking for. You do have a tray here for your toiletries for this little insert. We do have a nice seat here for the days that you just need to take a second, catch your breath, or again, other things like that. So overall, I mean, it's a really good sized space. We do have, I'd be remiss not to bring up that massive rain head. I mean, again, that is a rain head that I have not seen before, and it is impressive. And then we do have our 3rd shower head here as well. So just again, things you can do with the builder. And honestly, some of these things are gonna be standard, some of these will be upgrades, but if you're going to build, if you're gonna choose Jacksonville as the location for you and your family, you might as well put everything you could possibly think you would want and need into the home. Because again, it's one of those things, you do it once, you never have to do it again. And then here's another massive vanity here as well, just as big as the last one. So again, it's not like a his and her situation. Doesn't matter whose is whose, they're both the same size. And this one also has the built-in faucet. So again, just keeping things standard across the board. You do have your powder room there as well, or water closet. So it really is designed in such a way to highlight the space, to really give it a high-end feel, and really just is a nice complete look. And there's so many things to talk about. I didn't even mention the chandelier here in this tray ceiling. I mean, just really just so many things to focus on, so many things that really just pop out at you. But if it was me personally, I probably wouldn't do a chandelier. So I'd love to know your thoughts on if you would, because again, some people love it, some people may not, but it is kind of a cool feature you could do. With that being said, I did say the best for last, so let's check that out now. All right, so as we're now heading to this last part of the house, this is the part that I absolutely love. One thing that the builder did here is they give you these accordion style doors that open on both sides. And what's really cool too, and you'll see on the outside, I'm not gonna do it for this exercise, is both of these, they fully insert into the wall. So you could open it up all the way, not have any glass showing for when you're inviting friends or family over and you wanna be able to entertain them on a nice, beautiful day like today. So as we come out, first thing you're gonna notice, besides obviously this amazing pool, is you're gonna notice that we have this nice wood inlay on the ceiling, which really complements this really lighter colored tile floor. And this tile floor here, it actually has a bit of a grit to it. So even though sometimes tile can get kind of shiny, or when it gets wet, it can get slick, this tile is designed to not get that way at all. And again, as you can see, there's a lot covered underneath this roof. So if you're worried about not being able to use your back porch, your back patio on a day that's maybe not as nice as today, you don't have to worry because so much of this is covered. And if you ever wanted to, you could also screen this in if you so desired. And again, it could be a screened in enclosure that's just screened all the time, or you could even do the screen where it actually comes from up top. So you can actually keep it only screened when you want it screened. So different options you have there. That being said, how about this pool? I mean, this is a absolutely amazing pool built by one of the most reputable pool companies here in Jacksonville. And they did not leave anything to imagination. They absolutely crushed it with this pool. They did that waterfall effect, that endless water with the hot tub that they have here. Just really nicely did that all in all. Over here on the side, they do give you a fire pit here. So again, having that for having guests over is a nice touch. And again, you may notice here, like this is not grass. This is AstroTurf, which means that it's very much a zero-scape backyard for this section. So it's really just a set and forget and just be able to truly be able to enjoy your backyard, which again, if you're living here in Jacksonville, that's what you want to do. You don't want to be out doing yard work every Saturday. I mean, maybe you do, but ultimately having part of it done like this really does give it a nicer look, a nicer feel, really just gives that luxury look as well. And they even give you some areas here to be able to do some tanning, which here in Florida, a lot of people do that. So not uncommon whatsoever. With this pool as well, you'll notice it's actually an L-shaped pool. You'll see more of it as we come along. But it's a very large, very massive pool with multiple features. So you have your typical pool here where you can, have a little bit of a deeper end. You are gonna have sections where you can actually more of like a waiting area. There's even some seats over there for a swim up bar, which we'll get to as well, to show that off. So really just a lot of things there. And they even just nice steps here to be able to see your, get to the rest of your backyard, which this is by far one of the largest backyards we've filmed doing these model home tours. And they really did a great job with the landscaping of it and really keeping it simple to go with this amazing backyard feature. And you'll see here too, they did that waterfall effect here as well, that endless, water. So infinity pool kind of style. So just really well done by the builder, really well done by the pool contractor. And if you want to know more about the builder or the pool contractor for this home, just reach out to me. I'd love to go over all that with you and go over just what this builder can do that may be different than other builders when you're deciding to build with them here in Jacksonville. So as we continue moving along, we're gonna check out the other half of this backyard. And yes, you did hear that right. I did say other half. It's just that big of a backyard. There's so many things here. Not sure if you can hear it on the audio, but we got a nice bird up there doing some chirping, showing you just the nature element here. So many birds here, just so much nature out here that we absolutely love. And then out here on this side, as you'll notice, we have our outdoor bar. So this bar, again, it is massive. It's honestly almost as big as the inside kitchen. And again, they give us a nice large island here. You have a spot here ready to go for your flat screen TV to enjoy college game day or college basketball or baseball, NFL, whatever your heart desires. And then here with this outdoor kitchen, we do have a wine cooler. We have a mini fridge. We have our propane or gas grill with a vented hood. We have more storage throughout with the sink. And we even have our kegerator here, so that way if you like to partake in a nice ice cold beer on a hot day, you really have everything at your disposal to be able to fully enjoy living here in Jacksonville. Now another thing they did here is they did this waterfall effect, and this water actually does go into the pool, so it's all connected. What this waterfall effect does, it does kind of drown out the neighbors, drowns out the noise, and really does make it more of a peaceful setting for you when you're trying to relax. And it's a cool feature to have that we don't see too often on this channel. And then lastly, we have this outdoor table that's kind of like a built-in, the swim up bar. So again, if you and your family, want to be able to fully enjoy living out here in Jacksonville, this is a great place to do it. Because again, if the kids want to go swimming, hey, no worries. Hey, it's time to eat. They can come swim up to the bar or to the seating area. They have some seats out there. For anyone who's not in the pool, they can still eat out here as well. What it really does is it kind of brings everyone together, keeps everyone together, and really just epitomizes that family lifestyle and that friendly lifestyle that we have here in Jacksonville. Because again, when you're looking to buy here, when you're looking to move here, it's important to know just what you can get, just what makes the most sense for your family. Because again, Jacksonville is an amazing city to live in, which we are now going to dive a little bit deeper into that, as well as just how much this home is going for right this second. So that's going to wrap up this walkthrough of this amazing floor plan. And today we are actually out here in the Silverleaf community here in Northeast Florida in Jacksonville. And Silverleaf is one of the newest master plan communities located here in Jacksonville, and really is becoming one of the places to be because of its location, putting you 15 to 20 minutes away from a lot of major things to go and do. So again, if you need to go do shopping, you're only about 20 minutes or so away from the Durham Pavilion. If you want to go to St. Augustine, you're only about maybe 30 to 45 minutes away from St. Augustine, so it's not too bad there either. Like if you want to go to other things in Jacksonville, like the zoo, you're not too far away from there as well. Or even the beach. The beach. What's really cool about Jacksonville is that we have a lot of different routes you can go, a lot of highway that you can take. So you're not dealing with too much traffic with too many lights to deal with. So it's a pretty, not necessarily a straight shot to the beach, but it's a lot of highway driving to get you there as soon as possible. Because again, when you're living here in Jacksonville, it's not just about the house, it's also about the area. It's about, what's around you. And like here in Silverleaf, they have some of the best schools in Northeast Florida, some of the best schools in Jacksonville, some of the best schools really in the state. So you can't go wrong there. But also another amazing thing with Silverleaf is that you actually do get access to some amazing amenities without having to pay the CDD fee that so many other communities in St. Johns County has. So that CDD fee, it's short for Community Development District fee. If you want to know more about just what that is, what it goes to, how it gets paid, reach out to me and I'll gladly help answer those questions for you. But overall, that is the cool thing about Silverleaf is you have multiple amenity centers you can go to. So if you want to go, kick the football or soccer ball, or you want to go for a swim, you want to go play some pickleball, you have a lot of different things at your disposal to be able to go and do here with the amenities in Silverleaf. Overall, it is, like I said, it's one of my most favorite communities to be in. The one we're in today is actually called, I want to say it's Courtney Chase with maybe Courtney Woods. I'll have to double check that one for this video, but it's a neighborhood that's being built by ICI Homes, and it's in a gated section of Silverleaf. So overall, it does have a lot going for it on that regard to be able to give you that privacy. And most of these lots are going to be 70 foot and 80 foot wide, deep. And so there's plenty of different floor plans you have at your disposal and plenty of different floor plans like this one that really do just give you everything you could possibly want. And with this one here today, this is the Monica floor plan. It's one of their premier floor plans, one of their most desired floor plans by people here in Northeast Florida, just because of the layout being all one story. And ultimately, with ICI, if you do build with them and you build this floor plan, a couple things that they're doing right now, and again, this is subject to change, is they are actually offering up $40,000 towards the design center, which is absolutely amazing to help start getting you on that way to get the elements you want in your house. And again, for the base price of this floor plan, the base price of the one we're in today starts at just over $1 million, $1,027,000. So overall, gives you so much for that price between the standards as well as the upgrades you can do with the builder after the fact. And to end it all off, if you liked this home, on this video, you will see at the end some additional videos, additional model home tours. Feel free to click on those to see some of the other ones we shot as well, to just see all the different options you have at your disposal when it comes to moving to and living here in Jacksonville.